Welcome back to Tabletop Titans and another Titan Tactics. Today we're shaking it up a bit to talk about everyone's favorite nerd, Henry Cavill. There's been a lot of buzz about him, of course, over the last few years as we discovered the depths of his Warhammer obsession. We first learned about Henry's love of the Warhammer universe when we found out that he plays Warhammer Total War and plays many hours each day when he can. So this, of course, piqued everyone's interest. Later on, we would find out through his Instagram and other sources that he also actually loves to play the game, paint the miniatures, and build the models. He, no surprise, is a big fan of the Custodes. There are rumors that he may have a Custodes tattoo, though it's not confirmed. And on his own personal Instagram, he sent pictures of him actually painting his own Custodes, which is really cool to see. Not only that he's someone that is interested in the game, that plays the game, but also that he's someone that hobbies, and as someone who could very clearly just buy a full army, loves to get into the nitty-gritty of building their own army. So really cool. He's been very passionate about it in the past. You know, even in one famous interview, stopping the interview to talk about the chandelier in the back and how it was driving him crazy during the filming of The Witcher. That it looks just like a black stone fortress, it's a really hilarious clip. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. But all this to say, he's very passionate about this, and he's been very passionate about other different genres and universes. You know, we're talking about things like The Witcher and Superman, and you know, his timing on leaving The Witcher is interesting because it kind of comes at a time when they're shifting away from the original source material. So it feels like this is a person that is going to approach this with integrity. We're at a pivotal moment in our community as we move towards, you know, quote unquote outsiders creating media about this, creating movies, television shows, things like that. And it's going to be very sensitive for those of us invested in the source material. So I think it's important that we have someone like Henry that is kind of an ambassador from the hobby and from the lore, and that we feel like he's going to be able to stand up for, you know, the authenticity of that. So with that being said, these are kind of reasons why I think it's interesting that he's going to be involved in these projects. But what 5 characters do we think that he should play? Let's take a look. First of all, we've all seen the Photoshop and the art about Henry Cavill as the Emperor of Mankind. And let's be real, that would be kind of amazing, right? First of all, he already kind of looks like the Emperor. There's a similar vibe for sure. Big, tough, beautiful man as himself. And he's obviously a character that's very pivotal to the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, the Emperor comes with some pros and some cons as far as being a character that Henry would play. Pros, very important character. Very mysterious character. There's not a ton written about him, and all of it is very enigmatic. This can be a pro in the sense that it gives the writers a bit of a space to kind of do their own thing and develop the world without having to perfectly replicate a book, which is going to be kind of fraught with disasters as people perceive it to be, right? So, compelling for that reason, but also definitely a big problem, right? I think the Emperor is intentionally a mysterious character. His intentions are very purposefully hidden from us, and so this is something that, frankly, the 40k writers, and just in general, might not want them to actually delve into just yet. That might be kept in mystery. So for that reason, I don't know that we'll see Henry Cavill playing the Emperor, but it would be good. Next up, we think that Henry will be pretty good at pretty much every Primarch. Look, he is a big, beautiful, tough man, and so I think these are all attributes that the Primarchs have. He's a very stoic in many of the roles that he has played in the past, and I think it would be well suited to a number of them. Obviously, they have different personalities, and some are going to be better than others, but ultimately, I think it'd be pretty interesting. Henry himself has talked about how he loves the Blood Angels, so I would love to see Henry Cavill as a blonde. I think that'd be pretty fantastic, and he'd be well suited to a number of these Primarchs. So obviously a lot of directions they can take that in. There's lots of source material on these characters, and it would be a great chance to kind of delve into one of them a bit deeper. So definitely something interesting there. As we mentioned, Henry is a big fan of the Adeptus Custodes, and so of course, who better to play than Constantine Valdor, the OG big baddie himself that has really seen the full breadth of the storyline of the Imperium from start to finish, right? Now, he is currently missing in the 40k lore. There are rumors in the lore that he may have fallen and gone rogue, which is a big negative, I think, for Henry playing him. I think that he doesn't really play those types of characters, and I don't know that there'd be much interest in playing those types of characters. So if that turns out to be true, I don't know that we'd see him playing modern Constantine Valdor. But again, he's been through everything, Horus Heresy, even pre-Horus Heresy, Unification Wars, and that's a lot of really interesting content that nobody has seen before. So I think for that reason, still very compelling to have him play Constantine Valdor, the Custodian. Last of all, we have Eisenhorn. Now, this is a name that has been bandied about a lot over the last year. It was last January that we saw the reveal that, in fact, there is a Eisenhorn TV show in the works right now. They talked about the production company, they talked about the producer, but it's not clear if there is a relationship between this and the Henry Cavill project, which is explicitly with Amazon. This may be something separate. They may have taken this project to Amazon to try to pitch it to them. It may be something completely different. That's kind of unknown at this time. But all that aside, he would be a pretty great Eisenhorn, right? And I think Eisenhorn, the storyline, is a really, really great way to start in the Warhammer 40k universe, right? First of all, it's a genre that people are familiar with. There's lots of, murder, mystery, thriller, kind of detective story behind it. That is a genre that people can relate to. 40k is a wild and wacky, huge universe, but everyone knows a good detective story. Everyone knows a good thriller story. So great for that. It's also going to show us the world from the ground up. What is life like in the Imperium? And we can really develop this core cast of characters to create something that's compelling and about the characters rather than being an exposition for the world itself, which is something I think they want to avoid. But they would get to travel around to different locations, show out lots of different characters. And of course, Henry would be a great Eisenhorn. I think, again, very stoic, stern, brave character, well suited to his acting role in the past. So very interesting. So there's a lot of buzz about Eisenhorn. I'm curious to see if any of it turns out to be true, but these 5 characters would all be fantastic. Of course, let us know in the comments below, what do you think Henry Cavill should play in the upcoming Warhammer 40k series? Is it on this list? Is it not on this list? What servitor do you think that he would be best suited to play in the upcoming TV series? That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out. We'll catch you all next time on the Tabletop. Bye!